Coming up in today's bulletin, Australia's Deputy Prime Minister and Defence Minister says Solomon Islands security stability is in their best interest. The Ministry of Communication and Aviation is working at upgrading the country's domestic airstrips. And the Comprehensive Medical Centre of the National Referral Hospital sets to open on the 24th of January. Hello, you're watching SIBC's TV News Bulletin. I'm Eliza Kukutu. Australia's Deputy Prime Minister and Defence Minister has reiterated that the security and stability of the Solomon Islands are of importance to Australia following the announcement of the $190 million funding boost to support our SIPF. Sharon now reports.
Solomon Islands' security stability is in the best interest of Australia. Australia's Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Defence, Richard Marles MP, made this statement in response to a question raised on what Australia plans to gain from the $190 million funding support to the Royal Solomon Island Police Force. Mr. Marles said the support is also part of Australia's role as Solomon Islands' first security partner of choice.
What we stand to gain as Australians is having a stable, peaceful neighbour. Fundamentally, it is in Australia's interest to see the human development advance as much as possible throughout the Pacific. This is our neighbourhood. And we want to see prosperity grow throughout the Pacific. We want to see that happen here in Solomon Islands. Having a capable police force in Solomon Islands, which is run and operated here by Solomon Islanders, maintaining Solomon Islands' own security, is hugely advantageous for Australia. I mean, it really is a win-win for both countries. Australia has made very significant commitments in the past, Ramsay being the obvious example, when there have been issues, and that's the case throughout the Pacific. It's an example of where we see that having a peaceful, prosperous, stable Pacific, where human development is moving forward at a pace, is something that is deeply in our national interest. And so this is very much a partnership that this government here is really wanting to move down this path in a very significant way. We see as a real opportunity for Australia, and so being able to partner with Solomon Islands in respect of this is something that is going to be great for Solomon Islands, but it is going to be great for Australia as well.
When asked if China's security relations with Solomon Islands is a concern for Australia and if this was raised with Prime Minister Jeremiah Manele, Mr. Marles said Australia is comfortable and happy with the security relations shared by both countries.
We are very comfortable with our relationship with Solomon Islands. And specifically with what we are doing in terms of our cooperation with the RSIPF. Obviously, that's the case in terms of the agreement that we've signed. And I really want to emphasise that. We could not be happier in terms of the way in which we are engaging with the Solomon Islands government on these matters. And that is how we think about it. We want to get our bilateral relationship with Solomon Islands right. And I think our bilateral relationship with the country between Australia and Solomon Islands is in as good a shape today as I can remember it. And I've been involved in this relationship over a long period of time. We are very comfortable with that generally, and we are very comfortable with that specifically in terms of our engagement with RSIPF.
Sharon Nanau, SIBC TV.
Still on Australia's security to Solomon Islands, Australia is set to establish an international standard police training academy for the Royal Solomon Islands Police Force, RSIPF, as part of a $190 million funding package aimed at strengthening security and law enforcement in the Solomon Islands. Sharon now with the details.
The establishment of an international standard police training academy for the Royal Solomon Island Police Force is one of the main projects to be delivered under Australia's $190 million funding support to RSIPF. Australia's Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Defence, Richard Marles MP, told local media during his visit to the country on Saturday. He said along with the police academy, other development security-related priority areas are to be led by the Solomon Islands government.
Firstly, at the heart of this is going to be the establishment of a training centre here in Honiara. So that's really perhaps the most significant, substantive way in which I can answer the question. And the importance of quality training and high-class training for police is essential in terms of enabling them to do their job. But the second point I'd make, and it really does come from the discussions that we've had today, in terms of the specific priorities and how the Solomon Islands Police Force grows, and it will grow as a result of this agreement, we really see that as something which should rightly be led by the Solomon Islands government. And they are in the driver's seat in terms of what priorities they want to see pursued first and quickest and in the most significant way. And that is what will happen with the MOU that we will be working with the Solomon Islands in concluding as quickly as possible. So, training is a key part of it, but at the end of the day, we are here to respond to the priorities that are set forth by the Solomon Islands government. It is their police force, which we are helping to support here, and we're.
Mr. Miles adds Australia is committed to support Solomon Islands security for the long run.
We're there for the duration, and you're right. What we want to see is a police force which has Solomon Islands standing on its own 2 feet, which is capable and able to operate, well trained and able to operate right around the country. And so we will be there for the duration, for as long as it takes. But this is a $190 million commitment over the next 4 years. It is a very significant contribution, and we want to see this happen at a pace. And that amount of funding over that period of time speaks to the pace at which we will see the Solomon Islands Police Force improve its capability and start to grow.
Sharon Nanal, SIBC TV.
The Ministry of Communication and Aviation is working at upgrading the country's domestic airstrips. Permanent Secretary Alvin Danitofer told SIBC News that upgrade work currently carried out in the works cover more than half of the country's domestic airstrips.
Law 2024, the ministry am able for work together within constituency for doing back now Barakoma, the Western region, and also for doing maintenance La Ramata for ensure that himself able for accommodate for DAS 8. These are the 2 runways and airstrips where government worked on last year. And La Ramata case, Solomon Airlines got flights into Ramata now. Under the SIRA project, under one for la Kolemlo additional financing, me fala including Suava now. The design for Suava now, I'm already there. It's just a process of doing compliance law government side for you me ensure that him go through process and proper checks within the Ministry of Finance. That additional financing by him come from World Bank as well. You may expect him the work on Suava now should hopefully commence this year too. You may yet for deciding what time. But it is now confirmed that Suava now by IMI also upgraded. The other programs in relation to aviation that IMI focus on now is the reopening of Avu Avu. Team Lomifala last year, December, go down and do preliminary assessment and evaluation costing what now potential cost where government by anticipating in order for reopening now Avu Avu airstrip. Also, the government through the ministry intend for buying off now Ngora Airport, which is in Makira, Kira. You may, through the ministry, you may seriously looking at identifying a possible airstrip law Central Island Province, Malaita Outer Islands, and one for Renault Bellona. So him now focus below UMI for 2025 beside the maintenance of the current leased airport where the ministry look after for continue for maintaining.
The Comprehensive Medical Center at the National Referral Hospital sets to open on the 24th of this month. Funded by the People's Republic of China at a cost of 90 million Solomon dollars, the Comprehensive Health Center will help the Ministry of Health and Medical Services to mount programs to address the 5 key drivers of non-communicable diseases: smoking, alcohol, sugar, salt, and lack of physical activity. The new facility will cater for specialized services for those that have NCD complications. According to the Ministry of Health data, about 60% of all admissions to the medical wards at NRH suffer from diabetes and 40% from hypertension. This alone makes NCDs as the single largest killer in Solomon Islands. The health cooperation between Solomon Islands and China was formalized in 2021, following initial discussions in 2019 when Solomon Islands switched its diplomatic ties from Taiwan to China. SIBC News understands work on the Comprehensive Health Center started in 2023 and took a bit over 16 months to complete. Now, residents of East Malaita are facing mounting challenges as deteriorating road conditions continue to disrupt daily life. Yan Kaukui reports.
With just a month into the new year, people in East Malaita are facing challenges with their road infrastructure. Sections within this over 40 kilometers of road leading to Auki continue to deteriorate, depriving commuters of having access to safe and quality road infrastructures. Concerns have been raised by constituents who have experienced no changes with regards to repairs on the roads for the past years.
Usually, mi wala ota traveling public slow there. Mi wala experience him that mi baraf hard too much because from that distance mi wala surface sleep on the road for one night, pending waiting one day before mi wala ride for pusum truck vehicle for passing ota maad. Sometimes ota maad length block at time about 200. Mi wala get used because mi nearly 20 years from year 2000 as I recall mi face him come go kasim this time na. But since road them no good, no matem no good, mi wala no down. Mi wala ota group lo mi wala kokoa, group lo mi wala kopra, and okata bilnat man come from market lo town. O try best even though ota fret ya high, mi wala no complain now because mi wala looking lo on eye blo mi wala that mi wala must have to help him ota vehicles blo mi wala too for help him okata for running movement blo mi wala for selling for mi wala survive.
Some have taken to social media their experiences when traveling on the East Road, while some have grown accustomed and resilient to the poor road condition. Calls have been made to the parliamentary representative to quickly address the issue. Speaking in Parliament recently, Member of Parliament for East Malaita and Minister for Infrastructure Development, Manasseh Mailanga, calls on his constituents to understand that work on road infrastructures needs to follow the right process before it can be implemented.
Mr. Speaker, we have processes here. There are people who are without knowing things, complain no malo ministry. Yeah? Hana wakaya no good time, hana wakaya awesome. Road are no good. Yeah, Mr. Speaker. Immigrant processes, Mr. Speaker. Yeah? You cannot jump go walk him this one. You walk him go finish without following these processes. Who never buy me, Mr. Speaker? Who never pay him contract here? So there are processes, Mr. Speaker. So me like a public for must understand more things here. Yeah, it's not easy. Slowly him go, but by him must follow process, Mr. Speaker. We have to go through tender processes, Mr. Speaker. These are things that me like people, especially people from Malaita, East Malaita, ought to for understanding more things here. Yeah? For understanding more things here. Road no good, ought to say East Malaita na. It's not only East Malaita, Izum Road lo East Malaita. We have East Fataleka lo there, East Koya lo there, East Arare lo there. We all everyone using that same road. Yeah? So we like telling people from Malaita understanding processes.
He also calls on the public to refrain from spreading misinformation on social media regarding such issues.
Even two people were Facebook, you all man Facebook, Mr. Speaker. Yeah? Where talk about all things here without knowing these things, just to escalate things for people who are no understanding things about looking and thinking that this one is true now. Yeah? Give them right information, Mr. Speaker. These are things that our people need to know. Have time where people have to think right thinking now, Mr. Speaker. Yeah? For Imisa move forward, Mr. Speaker. For country move forward, we need him right mind, right thinking, yeah, right spirit. Now people in this country need for God, Mr. Speaker. so that he may move forward. He may always go, he may move backwards. Some things he may like for doing good thing, some follow go doing things more for moving him backwards.
Yan Kaukui, SIBC TV.
The Energy Advisory Committee EAC was established to remove Solomon Power's regulatory role and have the state-owned enterprise perform its operation as a service provider solely. Ministry of Mines, Energy and Rural Electrification Director of Energy, Gabriel I. Maya, said planned amendments for the country's energy sector policy is looking at having the energy sector's regulatory body to be an independent body.
And like currently, the regulation and the regulatory, him sit within Solomon Power no Maya. It's like you are playing soccer, you are reffing yourself. Him now what is currently under the act. So that is why the EAC, him established for adopting now that regulatory body, in the interim. Because our way forward now, looking at the amendments that we are like doing now, is for removing regulatory from Solomon Power and to become an independent power regulator. That him regulating generation, transmission, and distribution. So Solomon Power him only participate in generation, transmission, or distribution, but not the regulatory. The regulatory will be hosted by an independent power regulator. So the EAC, the Energy Advisory Committee, the him now advisory body where by him advising division and the minister on these amendments and establishment of the regulatory independent regulator and an IPP center within the ministry. So this was EAC, as soon as the independent regulator him established, by him evolve into the IPP center.
Mr. Aimaya said the Energy Advisory Committee have members from different sectors in society. He adds the committee plays an advisory role to the government and Solomon Power.
The EAC him composed of many different stakeholders, where we feel that Otagarem concern and participatory our electricity sector. We have members from Central Bank. Even the governor of Central Bank is a member of it. We have a member from finance, the debt management unit. We have members from the private sector, SIBC, Solomon Island Chamber of Commerce. We have rep from there. We have rep from Sonoski, auditing firms. So that is the multi aspect of the committee to look at what not best for the country in terms of the electricity sector, energy sector also going forward. So EAC him just him play an advisory role to the ministry and to the division, and yet whatever decision that is taken upon Solomon Power, him have to be between energy and Solomon Power, and it's done through dialogue and concessional agreements. Like we cannot force Solomon Power. We can only agree to disagree on issues, but agree on way going forward.
A new modern teacher laboratory will be established in the Solomon Islands to enhance teacher development following the signing of the Stronger Education Together SET program between the Australian High Commissioner, His Excellency Rod Hilton, and the Ministry of Education and Human Resource Development last week. Alex Dadamu reports.
A modern teacher laboratory is set to be built to help teachers in the country in terms of their skills development. Australian High Commissioner to Solomon Islands, His Excellency Rod Hilton, made the statement during the signing of the Stronger Education Together SET program with the Ministry of Education and Human Resource Development last week. His Excellency Hilton says they are working in collaboration with the Ministry of Education and the Solomon Islands National University SINU to establish the new laboratory.
Me feel proud too for standing with MHERD and SINU for building one fellow modern teacher laboratory, whereby helping new teachers for practice and learn them skills before Oketa go teach in classroom on different place long solo.
His Excellency Hilton adds the importance of children accessing quality education in the country cannot be overstated. He adds Australia is proud to be part of the new chapter of education partnership with Solomon Islands.
Pikinini blow you me and future blow you me. Education now key for opening Oketa potential blow Oketa and making Oketa shape him life blow Oketa and building one fella bright future. Australia am proud to stand with you today along this new fella chapter blow education partnership blow you me.
Alex Dadamu for SIBC TV.
The Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources in the first half of this year is working in the Bina Harbour Resettlement Action Plan. Bina Harbour Project Regional Arrangement for Governance Team Leader Michelle Lam said they are working to relocate 6 families from the Bina Harbour main project site. She said they are looking for a resettlement plan that benefits everyone.
Yes, there are plans to resettle them. We have started talking to them. Early next year, Bamfawakana Resettlement Action Plan. The initial thinking was to, under IFC's guidance, to resettle them to their places of their choice, building better facilities for them. After 2 years of lulukim no ini selen hem start for resettlement, we are trying to look at a give and take with those households. Ting just come up last week lo meeting blo mifala lo with him, all the other donors in the safeguards sector. The thinking is if mifala sai convince him these 6 households with their properties to move to other places of their own choice, and in return, instead of like paying them or removing them, we will allocate commercial spaces for them, the commercial plot for their business. This is one option to reduce the amount of money, which will be in millions, to move them. This is one option to try and help with our budget on not spending too much. It's in the works. We're discussing we're still brainstorming it.
The Bina Harbour project, once completed, aims to establish Solomon Islands as a world-class tuna processing facility based on sustainable resources at a climate-resilient port. Now, the Baby Box initiative has assisted 10 girls and women in Honiara since its launch in 2023. The initiative aims to provide a safe haven for unwanted infants and offers counseling for struggling mothers. Child Protection Coordinator at the Catholic Archdiocese in Honiara, Leotina Akwai, told SIBC TV most of the young women assisted often fear rejection from their families and partners.
Few of the young girls were also go through pregnancy and also come story about him that one. Some fella talk about him na this fella fear of garem pikinini and go back to family no ini selen, and then ota person who give him pikinini lo keta reject him oketa and so fear for go back to family back ya him na this a struggle ota no save like go back house and so toro him no ma, and then him no ma only thing ot him that options of garem na.
The initiative has received support through local and international donations so far.
Mifa garem support from some families. Been taken come oketa things or some kaleko, milk, nappies, dishes and bucket. Hemlo here with him lo house. One fala group Blo Solomon or Saplo Brisbane, or to support him lo amount of $. Another support me to fala dinners. Go to Ota invite him to fala go one fala fundraising. Me to fala take him to support from Oloketa.
Cases of infanticide and abortion are a common occurrence in recent years, sparking concerns among members of society.
We like for encouraging parents especially, and whoever have supporting young girls and women for looking that this fala abortion him one fala something him supposed for no happen inside the country blow me, and because you may gift from God, but you must have a talk about him with him, especially parents he must talk hard lo the girls blow kita inside lo society blow me, especially inside lo families.
If moi pikinini kame, which is me feel no hope for receiving that one to myself, because more hope pena is families care for own pikinini, parents keep him safe back of pikinini blota, or the young girls go through good marriage, you know same. So like me feel not really hope for this fala initiative. Yeah, him should be something where him na lo there. Okay, you fala torrent pikinini, if I go lo there na. Him should be one fala option where him last resource na. So thinking for expanding more big house or something, but him na make him staka yang gele kan garem this one negative thinking na. Or imi garang fa place lo dia ya. This fala sanctity of life ya, but him not really value lo the young girls and also na, or even ota mommy and also go through kind struggle.
And now the latest in sports with Crofton Utukana.
Trials to select the 20-man training squad for the Kurukuru national futsal team began yesterday at the Solomon Islands Football Federation Academy Futsal Court. Futsal Development Officer Dixon Kadau, who is leading the trials, told SIBC Sports that the turnout of players has been overwhelming.
Main purpose for trial now is for we will select him 20-man training squad block Kurukuru. We will start preparing team for the upcoming qualifying, World Cup qualifying, whereby you may not host. Outcome law players were on the trial. A big number of players were attend, more than any trials more we will do in the past. So we will get him very, very, very talented and potential players were on the trial, and the coaches here where me call him out for come for I am out the boys here. What I really find difficult a little bit, yeah, because this is the first time to see how every young talented player is up here. Scheduled trials here, I mean 3 days here. So first trial today, and then the second one on Thursday, and then last one on Saturday.
Kadau also included several experienced players based in Australia, such as James Egeta and Jack Whitney, among others.
Reasons why we put more in trials is what are very active players, where what are still on last week or this final, Egeta and Brian team name, what are winning now this national championship, and before that last year league Galaxy where Egeta and me play with him to take him now the crown, and Jack Whitney and me still play with Sydney with him mountain Sydney Mountains where what is still active. Every player where me will put him in, we will short list him out inside. They are very active. Yeah.
SIBC Sports understands that Kadau and his coaching staff will announce the final 20-man training squad following their final trial this weekend. Crofton Utukana, SIBC TV.
And that's news. Follow us on sibconline.com.sb and our SIBC News Facebook page for more of our latest stories. Thanks for watching.